Age. Aging. Guess what? You're getting older. Are you getting old? Well, you're only getting old if you think you're getting old. Do you know that your body renews itself like every 6 months completely? It's amazing. But yet we age. Why do we age? Well, we're going to get into that right after you like and subscribe. And who is this for? This is for you, my 1,630 subscribers. I am here to enlighten, inspire, and build up humanity, which is you. You are the humanity that I'm building up today. And why do I do that? Because whatever I give away comes back to me multiplied. Yes, I'm a selfish guy, and you should be selfish too. By helping others, by giving to others, by encouraging others, by helping others to be successful. And you too shall be successful as they are. It'll come back to you multiplied, running over, pressed down, and shaken together. Truly it does, because whatever you put out in life comes back to you. Whatever you take from life will be taken from you, multiplied. So the choice is yours. Choose to give and be given to, or choose to take and be taken from. The reason people don't follow this, and I'm getting off the topic here, but is because it doesn't happen immediately. Well, I take that back. It does happen immediately within yourself. You get that feeling that this isn't right. But the manifestation or the realization in our material world does not happen immediately. Usually it's down the road, sometimes days, months, sometimes years, and we don't connect the two things. But we're going away from that. All right, if you're watching this on Instagram, check out my YouTube channel, Mark Daniels, Mark's Inspiration, the podcast today, The Dragon Ship at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and my podcast, The Power is Within, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be sure to join us tonight. And if you're watching this on YouTube, check me out on Instagram at Mark's Inspiration. And if you would like to get my help personally, my website is marksinspiration.com. I also have 2 books on Amazon, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, and The Power is Within. And that's where the power is. It's within you. It doesn't lie outside of yourself unless you relegate that power to someone else, which is what most people do, because most people don't think for themselves. Everything that I'm telling you, don't just believe it, try it, because it may work for you and it may not work for you. Take what you need and leave the rest. Everyone is different. We each have our own unique path, but there are similarities in all of us as human beings that seem to work congruently with everyone. But then we're all different also. So some things work for some people, some things don't work for others. So what I'm telling you is, if I offer you a suggestion, try it. If it doesn't work, disregard it. But if it works for you, magnify it and use it and form it to your personality. Because this thing that works for you may work for me, but I have to work it within my personality, and just as you do and need to do the same. Okay, on to our topic. Age. We're all getting older. From the time you're born, you're getting older. But society and people will tell you that you're too old. I hear this crap all the time because I'm 60. I'll guarantee you, if I went to a group of people that were close to my age, I'm 62, and I said, yeah, I ran last night. Man, my back's sore today. I'll guarantee you somebody's going to say, yeah, you're getting too old for that. You're going to have to slow down. You better quit, etc., etc., etc. Is that true? It'll be true for you if you believe it, if you buy into it. It's true for them. They're not lying to you, because in their reality creation, it's true for them. And there may even be physical evidence in their bodies. And because they believed that. I disregard that information. I still do the same things my boys do. They work for me. They're 18 to 22 years old. Last night, they got home from the gym, and I was just getting ready to go run, so the two of them ran with me. One only went a mile, and the other one went the extra mile or two that we ran. I think we ran like 2.3 miles. And it was great, man. I felt good. Now, I started running again about 3 months ago because I was off for about 2 or 3 years because of a back injury I got back when I was boxing professionally. I heard it running with one of my sons. We were doing sprints, and now this was my self-will, or I won't say my ignorance, my lack of listening to listening to my body. We were doing sprints, and about the 6th sprint, I felt my back hurt in the middle where I had heard it when I was pro fighting. I didn't stop. I pushed through it. So it really caused a lot of problems. So I was off for a long time. I probably could have started running sooner, but I didn't. So I just started about 3 months ago. And I'm telling you what, I've run as much as 31. I was an English teacher in Central America. I've run as much as 31 miles at a time. But when I started again, about a half a mile was all I could make it. And part of my mind wanted to say, well, maybe you are getting too old. Maybe you shouldn't. But I know other people my age and older that can really run, and they can run fast. So I kept going. And last night was probably one of the first times that I felt that rhythm back. I mean, it was great. I was strong. We were sprinting pretty hard that last mile. I won't say we were sprinting, but we were smoking. We were moving along. And the feeling of exhilaration I got from, I'm still high from that. I mean, it's amazing. But there were times in the last 3 months where it was drudgery running. I felt like I wasn't going to get back to like I was. Now, I still can't run 31 miles, of course, and I'm not sure if that's something I want to do now. Maybe, maybe not. But I wanted to get back to where I could take off and run 2 or 3 miles if I needed to or I had to, because all my life, since I've been 20, I've been able to do that. So should the shit go down here and things go to hell, I want to be in good enough shape that I can protect myself and my family. Now, a lot of you guys think, oh, why do you worry about things like that? If you grow up in a cookie-cutter neighborhood, high-end neighborhood where the yards are perfect and the police are there in 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever, you don't think about these things. But I've lived in different parts of the world. I've traveled to many different parts of the world in third world countries, and these places are dangerous. Now, that is if you get out of the tourist area. Those places are pretty protected. If not protected by the cartel, then by the local government, which is sometimes I wonder if there's much difference. So I like being strong. I like being in shape. I like to be able to go out there and know I can take care of myself. But back to the original topic, or the root of the topic, had I listened to people, when I was 40 years old, people were telling me, hey, you're getting too old for that. Was I? No, if I would have bought into that. Because most people, what is it, the average American watches 4 to 6 hours of TV a night? I don't even understand that. But they go to work, they come home, they sit on the couch, and they get fat. 75 to 80% of the people are obese or overweight. Hey, I've been fat before. I weigh 156.8 at the moment this morning. And at one time I weighed 184 pounds. Man, it was tough. I hated it. I was overeating. Had a hard time running. My legs were rubbing together. So I know what it's like to be overweight. I'm not condemning anyone for being overweight, but nobody likes carrying around that extra poundage, I'll guarantee you. If you're not overweight, just go pick up a 10-pound weight or a 25-pound weight and carry that around for about 5 minutes. Can you imagine carrying 100 pounds around like some people do? It's really hard on them, it's hard on their body, it's hard on their joints, and it's hard on them mentally. But we live in such a society of abundance. We have so many pleasures and comforts. You don't even have to get off the couch to get food. Just call DoorDash. And these things are all fine in their respective places. But so many people don't even get out into the climate. They never see the sun. They go from air conditioning in their house to air conditioning in their car to air conditioning at their business. They return in the same form. They never get out in the climate to experience the fresh air. And of course, they're going to feel old because we are physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual beings. All these things, all these aspects of our life need to be taken care of. And too many times we don't take care of them because the big consumer push is to eat more, drink more, buy more, relax more, be more comfortable. You as men, and I know I have some women here, you men need to get the hell out of your comfort zone. Take a cold shower every day. The Sophisticated Man on Instagram, he talks about that. I've been doing that for probably over a year now. It's not easy. But once you get in there and get out, it changes your state, especially when you climb out of a warm bed in the morning. Now, this is just one small thing. You need to get uncomfortable because as a man, you need some type of adversity. I believe that's why we have all these people complaining about things. Let's talk about the genders and different things like that. We create things that really are not that important, but they seem important because we don't have any big fish to fry. We don't have a war. We don't have this. We don't have that. Even with this inflation, I don't see anybody walking. No more people than were walking before. The ones that are walking for exercise. So they still have cars. They're still buying gas. They're still walking out of the quick stores with a 44-ounce big gulp. They're still smoking their cigarettes. They're still playing the gambling games in these little quick stores. I mean, I could go on, but yet they're saying that they can't afford to buy food, that everything's too high. But yet everybody's still doing everything they were. If things were as bad as they think they are, they wouldn't be driving everywhere. They wouldn't be buying all these things. They wouldn't be drinking the big gulps. They would be cutting down to the bare minimums like they did during the Depression. Now, that was before my time, but my grandma and grandpa, my grandma anyway, spoke to me about it. When I was a kid, she would have Wrigley spearmint gum, and she would give me half, and she would eat half. She would always give me, I think, like $2 for my birthday, but $2 was a lot back then. The point I'm making here, we have gotten so used to being comfortable and pleased that we don't know what it is to struggle, to have adversity. So we create adversity, or we make mountains out of molehills, as they say. These things that the society is throwing a fit about now, I'm not sure what I don't want to break YouTube's regulations here. But you can think of some of the adverse situations that people are complaining about, that people are wanting equal treatment for, that really it's like, just live your life. Nobody cares if you want to live the way you want to live, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, and they're not. So why do you want us to conform? Why are you pushing for legislation to get everyone else to call you certain names or use certain pronouns? Why is that so important to you? If you accept yourself and you want to be that, just be that. As I've said many times, when I was younger, I was a hippie. I rode a Harley Davidson in my teens, and people called me a hippie. Rednecks, picked on me. They bullied me. But I was willing to pay that price for my identity. That is what I wanted to identify as. And I was proud of that. I didn't care. Yeah, it would have been nice if they liked me, but they didn't. It didn't stop me from identifying and being what I wanted to be. And I sure as hell wasn't out there trying to get the legal system to make these guys call me certain things or to treat me a certain way. It's just the way it was. You got to toughen up a little bit. You got to get a little bit of thick skin. But back to the age thing, these things will help you mature in life. And they make you strong and they make you tough. As I said, as men, we need adversity. It doesn't have to be someone bullying you. I'm not advocating that, of course. But if nothing else, we need to put ourselves up against challenges to build our strength of character. I woke up yesterday morning, and I'm telling you what, I felt like I had gotten drunk last night. I spoke about this the other day. I mean, I felt like crap. I actually felt like, would it be so bad if death came to my door? My neck was hurting because I've had injuries in that, and I did some new exercises, and it was so stiff I couldn't move. The pain was, it wasn't a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, but it hurt like hell. And I sat there and I thought about calling my client and saying, you know what, I'm hurting, I'm not going to be able to make it today. But that was the way I felt. And I thought about something Andrew Tate said. The way I feel has nothing to do with it. It really has nothing to do with it. Now, I believe emotions can guide us to certain things, and sometimes you need to listen to them. But this emotion was telling me to sit home, take it easy, and just give in to adversity, which is the adversity in my body, the pain in my body. So I made myself get up, take a cold shower, and I went out because I knew that if I went out and worked, I would probably feel better. So by the end of the day, my neck's really loosened up pretty good. I'm feeling better. And then as the day went on, I said I went out and ran later. I made myself do that. I was back and forth. So I ran, and it turned out to be, I would have to say nothing short of less than wonderful. To run with my son, he'll be 21 or 22 this year, this one. I can't remember. I got so many kids. I can't explain to you the exhilaration and the feeling of joy that I had from that run. And years ago, I was always training. It was always about the race. But I've learned to live in the moment. And just thinking about that run last night, us running together, the sound of our feet hitting the ground, the rhythm of both of our bodies, and the wind blowing. It was a beautiful night. It was dusk. That is a memory that I will cherish forever. Now, some of you may think, well, what's the big deal about that? And I really can't, it's ineffable. I can't really describe to you, but that is a richness that I never anticipated or believed could be in my younger years, because I was always out for the goal. I had to get to the goal, and that was when I was going to be exhilarated and happy. And I reached some goals, and I did get that exhilaration and happiness, but I never realized how much of the joy was in the journey. So no matter how old you are, you're still in the journey. Unless you sit on the couch and conform to society's idea of how you should be when you get to be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, or whatever age it happens to be. Guys I admire are the 80-year-olds that's still out there working. They didn't listen to the masses. They didn't listen to the agenda of, oh, you better retire. I was getting AARP stuff when I turned 50. So they're pushing you to retire. And it's not for your own good. Studies now show that men and women, I'm sure, who do high exhilarating exercise, even in their older age, 60s and 70s, 80s, are better off or more healthy than people who don't. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there if you're 80 and try to run 100-yard sprints a day if you're out of shape. Of course, consult your doctor. I have to tell that. That's like a disclaimer. But if you're in shape like I am, well, I probably wouldn't go out and do 10 100-yard sprints right now. But you can go out there and push yourself. And there's something about pushing yourself beyond what you think you can do that puts an invigorating feeling of life in you that you're not going to get from any drug, any alcohol, any relationship, any woman, or any other thing. As a man, when you push beyond what you think you're capable of doing, the reward is greater than any other thing that can come into your life. That's just being a man. I think all of us men are warriors inside, and until you express that warrior somehow through some type of physical activity, although some people could express it through some type of mental activity, I suppose. That's not my cup of tea. But you must, as I said, address the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of your life. And when you address all of those, which I do my best to do every day, because you need to think about what you're thinking about. Don't be on automatic pilot. You need to program yourself. Otherwise, as I said, people will program you to believe you're old when you're 40. What is the thing? They give you a black balloon on your 40th birthday. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I'm telling you what, my life is fuller now and more joyful and happy now than it's ever been. Sure, I have times like the other morning where I think, I don't know, death doesn't sound too bad. But I know that's just a feeling. It's a thought that comes into your head. You are not what you think. How do you say it? You are what you think you are. You're not what you think you are. If you can figure that one out. The point I'm making here is your mind is the beginning and the end of everything. So if you don't believe it when people say you're getting too old for that, you better slow down, then you don't have to. Don't be around people who talk about their medications or their problems or their illnesses or their operations. Politely excuse yourself from these conversations because they will go into detail about these things. You don't need to allow those things to imprint your mind. It's difficult enough when you stay away from those people because you're bombarded with things that tell you that age is bad, older is less, younger is better, etc., 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 especially in our Western society. In other societies, they don't do that as much. They honor age. We have a vast resource of intelligence, information, and wisdom in the nursing homes. And we don't even make use of it. We just put people away and forget about them. You can only gain wisdom through experience in life. And I've realized that. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in my teens, I thought I knew everything. And as I've aged, I realized that my dad was pretty smart. One time I came home at like 5:30 in the morning. I was 17 or 18 on my Harley. And I was drunk. He was going out to have coffee with his buddies at the restaurant. And I had a jockey shift. It's a suicide shift on my Harley. And I run the front end of my motorcycle through the garage wall. He just came out, shook his head and said, "You're never going to have anything if you don't quit that drinking." Well, had I been wise, I would have quit drinking. But I didn't. Because, hey, I was having fun. I knew what I was doing. And so what? I ran through the garage wall. Shit like that happens, right? Yeah, okay. But as the years have passed, I realized how much of a genius my father was, how much wisdom he really had. The older I get, the less I know, and the more I realize he knows. Of course, we do learn more as we age. There are so many benefits of age. I'm a much better father now than I would have been in my 20s. All I could think about in my 20s was getting laid, picking up women, being a world champion boxer. And the only reason I wanted that was so I could glorify myself, get more women, and everybody could look at me and think I was great. And I used that somewhat local fame I got to build my safe self up, to glorify myself. I didn't care about you. I only cared about you in respects to what you could do for me. But now I've learned in life, because I ended up by myself and miserable, and I knew why I was by myself, because I only thought of myself. But I've learned in life, whatever you want, give it away. So if I can help you guys, as I said earlier in this video, if I can help you and enhance your life, it comes back to me, even if I never meet you. So my messages are here to help inspire you, to help you know that, or learn that there is more to life than what you're experiencing. There's more to life, to my life, than what I'm experiencing. And thus, by helping you to discover that and enhance that in your life, it enhances it in my life. The true successes in life, at least the ones I admire, have learned by service and by giving it away, it comes back to their life multiplied. It's wisdom is as old as time itself, but yet we seem to forget it in our modern age. It's like the movie The Secret. It's not really a secret, but in a way, it seems to be a secret. I mean, we've all heard what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow, karma. But yet, how many people actually live by this? No, we're taught from the time we're born to go out there and get what we want. They don't teach these things in school. You learn these things by living life, but not by living life on autopilot, but by thinking about your life, by contemplation, by inventory, by looking at your life objectively, by taking the word blame out of your life and looking and seeing, how did I contribute to this situation that I like? How did I contribute to the situation that I don't like? How did I create this into my life? What was I thinking about in the days, months, years preceding this event that happened that I'm enjoying, or this event that happened that I'm hating, that I'm suffering through? It's all about, the dog's barking, self-discovery. Learn who you are. Learn what makes you tick. Take your focus off of the outside world and put it on the inside world. Because when you get the inside world in order, the outside world takes care of itself. Thanks for being here. Again, if you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com. I offer consulting. I'd be glad to help you. Give me a call, 15-minute free consultation. I'll see if I can help you. If we think we can, we'll proceed. If not, you get 15 minutes free. So I'm out of here. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. And remember, you're only as old as you think you are.